Some songs don't just top the charts, they change the way the world moves. They make generations cry in their bedrooms, scream in their cars, and lose themselves on the dance floor, no matter the year.
It is not the same without a gun.
Tonight on vibezcure, we're counting down the top 10 pop songs of all time. These aren't just hits, they're moments in history, and every one of them left a permanent mark on music culture. Let's get into it.
A little gambling is fun.
Number 10, Hips Don't Lie by Shakira. Before the words
Oh, baby, when you talk like that.
arrive, the body already knows what to do. The rhythm enters like a suggestion that quickly becomes a command. Percussion skips forward, never stiff, never straight. It sways, it circles, it invites movement without asking permission. This song doesn't introduce itself, it arrives mid-motion, as if it's been playing long before you noticed it. Shakira's voice doesn't sit on top of the beat, it moves inside it. Flexible, textured, shaped by breath and accent and instinct. There's a looseness to the phrasing that feels human, lived in, almost conversational. She bends notes the way dancers bend time. Stretching moments, snapping them back into place. The hook doesn't dominate through volume, it dominates through inevitability. You feel it coming, and when it lands, it feels like confirmation. What makes Hips Don't Lie endure isn't novelty, it's integration. This is not pop borrowing Latin rhythms as decoration, this is Latin rhythm asserting itself as the foundation. The song doesn't translate culture for mass appeal, it lets mass appeal adapt. That distinction matters. The groove is confident enough to remain itself, and because of that, it travels. Clubs, weddings, radios, kitchens, streets. The setting doesn't matter. The body recognizes it first. Lyrically, the song flirts without coyness. It celebrates physical truth, movement as honesty, rhythm as language. The hips don't lie because the body doesn't negotiate, it responds. That idea is ancient, and that's why it works. The song taps into something older than charts or trends. The idea that rhythm is memory stored in muscle. Even now, years later, the opening seconds still feel like a door opening somewhere warm, somewhere loud, somewhere alive. The song hasn't aged because it never chased its moment. It trusted its pulse. And pulses don't expire, they repeat. Number 9. Poker Face by Lady Gaga. This song doesn't rush you, it waits. A synthetic heartbeat pulses beneath everything, cold and exact. The beat doesn't swing.
I'll get 'em high, show him what I've...
It ticks. Precision becomes atmosphere. Emotion is present, but restrained, filtered, held just out of reach.
I want you to know.
This is desire expressed through control, tension built not by release, but by delay. Lady Gaga sings like someone hiding in plain
It will be a little gambling
sight. The vocal is confident but guarded, playful but armored. Every phrase feels measured, intentional, like a move calculated 3 steps ahead. The melody circles itself, looping not for comfort, but for effect. Repetition becomes
He's got me like nobody carried
pressure. Pressure becomes obsession. What makes Poker Face timeless is its understanding of performance. Not performance.
Oh, 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 oh.
spectacle, but performance as protection. The song is about withholding, about masking intention, about letting
Poker face.
rhythms say what words won't. The hook works because it refuses emotional clarity. It doesn't resolve, it maintains. Sonically, the track feels engineered yet alive. Europop synths flash like neon signs flickering after midnight. The groove is minimal, uncluttered, leaving space for tension to breathe. There's no excess here. Every sound earns its place. That restraint gives the song its longevity. It never overcommits to a trend. It commits to structure. Poker Face also marks a shift in pop identity. This was a moment when pop stopped insisting on likability and started experimenting with intrigue. The song doesn't smile at you, it watches you react. That dynamic still feels modern because it mirrors the way people move through the world now. Curated, guarded, expressive without exposure. Years later, it still sounds like tomorrow because it never tried to sound like today. Number 8, Wannabe by Spice Girls. This song doesn't unfold, it erupts. Voices collide before the beat fully settles. Laughter bleeds into rhythm. Energy spills over edges that don't exist yet. The track feels less like a composition and more like a captured moment. 5 personalities crashing into the same space and daring the song to keep up. The groove is simple, almost skeletal, but that's intentional. It leaves room for character. Each voice arrives distinct, unapologetic, unconcerned with blending too neatly. The song thrives on interruption. Lines overlap. Phrases snap back at each other. It sounds like friendship feels. Messy, loud, intimate, unfiltered. Lyrically, Wannabe isn't poetic, it's declarative. The message is immediate and non-negotiable. If you want access, respect,
I'm ready. Really? Here we go.
is the entry fee. Independence isn't framed as rebellion, it's framed as baseline. The genius is in how casually it's delivered. The song doesn't preach, it assumes. That assumption is powerful. It positions confidence as normal, not exceptional. It invites listeners into a space where autonomy is expected. Joy is communal, and loyalty matters. The nonsense phrases, the chants, the unexplainable syllables aren't filler. They're glue. They make the song portable. You don't need to understand every word to participate. You just need to show up. Wannabe lasts because it never tries to be timeless. It commits fully to its moment, and in doing so, captures something universal. The sound of people claiming space together, the sound of joy as structure, the sound of belonging without permission. Number 7, California Girls by Katy Perry featuring Snoop Dogg. This song understands escape. Before the hook arrives, there's already a temperature shift. The beat bounces lightly, unburdened, unconcerned with consequence. Synths shimmer like reflections off water. Bright, playful, deliberately uncomplicated. Nothing here is meant to weigh you down. That's the design. This is pop as atmosphere. Pop as a place you can step into when the world feels too dense. Katy Perry's vocal doesn't strain for dominance. It floats, relaxed, open, inviting.
Party with the eyes. You'll be falling in.
The melody curves upward like a smile that knows it doesn't need to prove anything. The chorus isn't aggressive, it's expansive. It opens space rather than filling it, letting the listener project themselves into the sound. That's why it works across contexts. Cars, pools, rooftops, headphones. And the song adapts because it was built to host experience, not dictate it.
Now put your hands up.
Snoop Dogg's presence matters here. He doesn't interrupt the mood, he stabilizes it. His delivery is effortless, conversational,
California girls, they're undeniable.
like a voice you recognize immediately, even before the words land. He brings history without heaviness, credibility without friction. His verse doesn't pull the song into hip-hop territory. It grounds the fantasy, reminding you that cool doesn't have to announce itself.
Sun-kissed skin so hot, they'll melt your popsicle.
What California Girls captures is a specific kind of optimism. Not ambition, not aspiration, but ease. The idea that joy can be light without being shallow. That pleasure doesn't need justification. The song doesn't promise transformation. It promises a window, a breeze. A few minutes where nothing is demanded of you except presence. That's why it still plays. Not because it
And lives on the beach. I'm okay, I won't play a
changed pop's direction, but because it understood pop's function. Sometimes music isn't meant to lead you somewhere new. Sometimes it's meant to let you rest exactly where you are.
Daisy Dukes, bikinis on top.
Number 6, Bye 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 by NSYNC. This song is built
Me, when you want that for me.
like machinery, but it runs on emotion. The beat snaps into place with precision. No wasted motion, no looseness. Every drum hit feels clipped, intentional, aligned. The rhythm doesn't sway, it locks. From the first second, the track establishes boundaries, and everything that follows operates within them. Vocals stack cleanly, harmonies slide into position like gears engaging. There's frustration in the lyrics, but it's controlled, channeled, shaped. The anger doesn't spill, it circulates. That containment is what gives the song its power. The chorus doesn't explode, it lands repeatedly, predictably, irresistibly.
Don't wanna be a fool for you, just another player in the game.
What makes Bye 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 endure is its understanding of repetition. This is a song designed to be played again and again without erosion. Each listen reinforces the last, and the structure is so tight that familiarity becomes comfort, not boredom. The track doesn't decay, it imprints. There's also something quietly transitional happening here. This is teen pop reaching its most refined form, maximally polished, emotionally legible, visually synchronized. Everything after this moment reacts to it. Either by embracing the formula or rejecting it entirely. You can hear pop music beginning to pivot even as it perfects itself. Years later, the song still hits because it doesn't rely on nostalgia alone. It relies on craft, on rhythm as discipline, on the idea that emotion doesn't always need chaos to feel real. Sometimes it needs structure strong enough to hold it. Number 5, Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper. This song laughs, but it's not joking. From From the opening synth line, there's a buoyancy that feels intentional, almost strategic. The melody bounces, light on its feet, but there's resolve underneath it. Cyndi Lauper's voice enters playful, elastic, unmistakably human. She sounds like she's enjoying herself, and that enjoyment becomes the statement. What makes this song powerful is how casually it asserts itself. It doesn't argue for joy, it assumes it. Fun here isn't escape, it's entitlement. A right. The song reframes pleasure as something that doesn't require approval or explanation. Lauper sings with personality intact. She doesn't smooth out her edges, she leans into them. That authenticity radiates. It tells the listener that individuality isn't something to negotiate away, it's something to amplify. The song invites participation, not by demanding conformity, but by modeling freedom. Musically, the track is deceptively simple. Its durability comes from clarity. The message is clean. The melody is immediate. The rhythm moves without distraction. Nothing competes with the core idea, joy as agency. Decades later, it still resonates because it never positioned happiness as frivolous. It understood happiness as defiant, as something you protect, something you repeat until it becomes normalized. The song doesn't age because the fight it smiles through isn't over. Number 4, I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston.
That there will always be love, y'all. All right?
This song begins with restraint. There is space before sound, breath before declaration. Whitney Houston doesn't rush the
Our kids grew up with music in their lives, then there is no question.
moment. She prepares it. The opening lines are delivered gently, deliberately, as if the emotion requires careful handling.
Because this evening is about kids.
Every phrase is placed, not pushed. As the song unfolds, the dynamic grows. Not suddenly, but inevitably.
And music. I just have to do this next song. It's just a...
Each section builds upon the last, tension rising through patience rather than force. When the chorus finally arrives, it
are the same things, really, you know? So, and if
feels earned, not dramatic, not indulgent, necessary. Whitney's voice here is not about volume.
Only being your way.
It's about control. She moves from softness to power without fracture, carrying the listener through the full emotional arc without losing precision. The strength never feels separate from vulnerability. They coexist. And what makes this performance immortal is its honesty. Love here isn't possessive, it isn't theatrical, it's resolved. The song understands goodbye
So I go
as an act of care, not defeat. That emotional maturity gives it weight. It isn't asking you to feel something, it's allowing you to. This track doesn't rely on production tricks or novelty. It relies on truth carried by voice. And that's why it continues to stop rooms mid-sentence decades later. Silence still knows where to gather when this song begins.
that is all.
Number 3, Baby One More Time by Britney Spears. This song arrives quietly, but it doesn't leave quietly. The opening line is soft, almost tentative.
Allora,
Che è un fenomeno in America. Tu devi pensare che la prima volta
Suspended over minimal instrumentation. There's vulnerability in the delivery, but also focus. The beat clicks in underneath like destiny asserting itself. Once it does, the song never lets go. The melody loops with confidence disguised as simplicity.
Simpatica, forte, bella e brava, Britney!
Britney's voice doesn't overpower the production, it integrates into it. She becomes part of the rhythm, part of the architecture. The result is intimacy sharpened into clarity. This wasn't just a hit, it was a pivot point. Pop music reorganized
Esordio arriva prima in classifica, quindi
Davvero?
t'ho detto una
itself around this moment. Innocence became stylized, emotion became streamlined. The song didn't invent teen pop, but it redefined its center. What makes it last is balance. In the track holds fragility and inevitability in the same space. It sounds young, but not careless, vulnerable, but not weak. Every listen reinforces how deliberate it actually is. The song doesn't chase adulthood or cling to youth. It exists between them. That liminal space is where its power lives, and why it still resonates across generations. Number 2, Vogue by Madonna. This is posture in sound. The beat moves with discipline, measured, composed, unhurried. House music enters the mainstream here without compromise. Maintaining its cool, its geometry, its restraint. Madonna doesn't sing so much as direct. Her voice is steady, controlled, authoritative. Names are spoken like lineage. Style becomes history. The song frames self-presentation as legacy, confidence as inheritance. It doesn't invite approval, it assumes relevance. Musically, Vogue is spare. It trusts space. Every pause feels intentional. Every beat lands exactly where it should. That minimalism gives the track its timelessness. It doesn't clutter itself with era-specific excess. This song didn't just bring ballroom culture to a wider audience, it honored it by refusing to dilute it. That respect is audible. You can hear the confidence of something that knows its value. Vogue lasts because it teaches posture. Not how to move, but how to stand. Number 1. Billie Jean, Michael Jackson. This song begins with distance. A bass line walks alone, measured, cautious. Each note steps forward as if testing the ground. Drums enter tight, relentless, closing the space behind it. Tension settles in immediately and never leaves. Michael Jackson's voice arrives not as explanation, but as presence. He sings with urgency contained by control. Every breath, every hiccup, every inflection feels chosen. The groove is immaculate, but the narrative underneath it is unsettled. That contradiction is the song's genius. Billie Jean doesn't resolve its story, it sustains it. The anxiety never dissipates, the confidence never fully relaxes. Dance and paranoia coexist without cancelling each other out. The result is a song that moves bodies while tightening nerves. And this is pop at its highest discipline, where groove, psychology, and narrative lock into the same pocket. Nothing here is accidental. Nothing is excessive. Every element serves tension. That's why it doesn't age. It doesn't belong to a year. It belongs to the moment when pop music realized it could be this precise and still feel alive.
Always